Hello and welcome, Star Wars fans, to this week's episode of Duel of the Ranks, a show where we debate takes so hot that they would melt a planet with twin suns. My name's Brody, and I'll be hosting this episode with my co-hosts Amanda and Christian as we attempt to discover what story is truly the best from a galaxy far, far away. On this week's episode, we're going to be discussing ranks and hot takes from The Return of the Jedi. By the end of this episode, we'll have a definitive answer on where this piece of Star Wars content ranks amongst the rest. So with that said, let's get this show started. Amanda, what's The Return of the Jedi all about?
So now, a more powerful Jedi, Luke rescues his friend Han from the corrupt Jabba the Hutt on his home planet of Tatooine. The rebels head to the planet Endor to stop the Imperial forces and destroy the second Death Star with the help of local Ewoks. Luke faces his toughest battle as he struggles to bring Darth Vader back to the light and finally defeat the evil Emperor.
Ooh.
The cap.
The
end of the original trilogy.
It's really crazy that they had something as good as The Empire Strikes Back, and they made it so much better.
Whoa. Whoa.
Okay.
Wait a minute, though. Isn't this one, though, like, personally your favorite of the original trilogy?
I understand why it's critically not the best film, but yes, it is my favorite of the original trilogy.
This
I get
also
that.
used to be like,
That's cool.
this technically is second best in my rankings of the original trilogy here, but I always used to say that Return of the Jedi was my favorite original trilogy, probably because I just didn't want to be like everybody else and say Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I wanted to be more interesting.
Gotta be different.
Yeah.
So what does this movie do really well? What do you like about this movie?
You just leave this movie feeling so good.
It's great closure.
Yeah.
And it really does, like, cap off the trilogy well. It wraps it up on a good high note, and you really do think, like, this is done, you know? We're done. We're done here, people.
Yeah.
And it gives, honestly, going in, like, watching A New Hope and then Empire, I don't think you could ever imagine a redemption story for Vader.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Like,
hard to do.
I think that would be unexpected, and it is really cool and smart, though, like, introduce the Emperor in Empire, and then in Return of the Jedi, you make him, like, he's there in the flesh now. He's not just a hologram.
Yep.
He's more evil, and it's easier now for us to accept Vader turning, redeeming himself with the help of Luke, you know? So that's a really cool thing. I think that's like one of the strongest points of this movie.
Yeah, when we start off, we see Luke at Jabba the Hutt's palace, and he's got this kind of swag, like, I know you're gonna try to, like, get rid of me, but you don't know all the secrets that I know.
Yeah.
And he also has, like, his all black look, which I really like, and I think kind of hints the viewer at, like, what's gonna happen? Where's his alliance? You know, he's supposed to be our hero, but he's not the knight in white shining armor.
He's
I
wearing
guess.
all black, and he
Yeah, he
force
looks
choked a Gamorrean
badass.
guard.
Yeah. One thing I do have a hard time believing, and this may be because of my perspective as someone who knows so much more of the Star Wars universe than just this original trilogy. But I have a hard time believing Luke is as powerful as he appears to be in this film. Like, we've seen so many Jedi before and after him in these other stories that are told that get so much more training, and we see their battle styles that obviously advance over time, or they have the luxury of being in animation. So it just doesn't feel totally earned that Luke is a full Jedi master at this point.
Yeah, I totally get that. I never thought of that until you said that, because, yeah, I guess for me, you know, watching them growing up or whatnot, it was just like, all right, this is the
He's
next
better
thing.
now, yeah.
He's better now. He's in all black. He's
Yeah.
got to be better. Like,
Scary.
It's scary, yeah, like his dad now. And but no, totally. Like, after everything you've seen in the universe and, like, what, you know, you have to go through for training and all this, it's kind of like, we skipped some steps here, it looks like.
Yeah.
But
And I'm like, we're supposed to, as a viewer, be like really in awe of his skill and ability. And I don't know, I don't feel like it's totally earned yet.
Yeah.
Do you think he earns it though throughout the movie?
I think he does in his, maybe in his mindset or in his heart. Like he starts to embody what the Jedi is supposed to be, in really bringing about the light of the Force. But as far as like a Jedi, like being a master, I don't know.
Like the physicality that he brings to like that performance.
Like, could you beat Yoda in a battle? I don't know.
People at that time would have thought, what do you mean, beat him at a comedy sketch? Or like, 'cause they're like, oh, Yoda.
What
Yoda
does Yoda
can
do?
fight? Yeah.
Let's wait till Attack of the Clones comes out.
So I know everyone is waiting for me to love Luke Skywalker as a character. And, you know, he is less insufferable in this film than in the other ones.
Very mature.
A little bit more mature. A little bit.
A little bit more. I love
Say.
comparing like the end, like this Luke to A New Hope. Like, I'm going to go to Tashi Station. Like,
Yeah.
when he's like talking to Leia about like, hey, we're brother and sister or whatnot. Like, that Luke is so different to me than
He really is.
A New Hope Luke. And it's cool to compare them.
I like Empire Luke the most personally.
Yeah, me too. He lost a hand.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Note to self: do not hang out one-on-one with Christian when there's knives in the room.
Is this also the first movie where we get like flippy Jedi tricks?
I think that's Empire, where he starts like
He does the
flipping
one.
around with-
He does the one flip where he
Out of the
has
Sarlacc?
Yoda strapped to his back, and he like does a front
right.
flip. I'm like, whoa, man, you're
Whoa.
run,
precious
run.
cargo.
I think you start to see them fight more with the Jedi
Yeah,
flips and stuff.
the
and
Jedi
it's cool.
flips, yeah. And Vader throws his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like, dang.
Yeah,
Still one of my favorite moves in all
Very
video games.
cool.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a flex. Gonna just chuck my lightsaber at you.
And Luke's like, well, you can't do that. That's breaking the rules.
Yeah, it's also cool in that scene where you see Luke's face, and part of it, because of the lighting, is like blue, and the other part of it is like red, and kind of the whole thing's hinting at, is it going to go dark? Is it going to go light? And then you do see when he really makes his decision, which I don't even know how much of a decision it was, where his shirt kind of flaps down. And you see that the inside of that jacket is lined with white fabric, hinting he's still on the inside, always good.
That's a good point. I didn't notice that.
It's a
That's
good
point.
parallel you draw there, Brody.
It's interesting. So I thought that was really cool. Obviously, the special edition added some extra stuff, like Vader.
Anakin?
I guess at that point, Anakin picking up Palpatine and saying, no. Mimicking Revenge of the Sith. My question is, did you both like that edition? Are you indifferent towards it? Or does it bother you?
I guess I didn't. I probably haven't seen it without it.
I'm indifferent to it. I've seen like the original enough times where it was like, oh, that's different, but I was nothing too crazy.
I liked it. I'm for it. And there's a lot of people online that just trash like that. It's terrible. And I don't know. I think it humanizes an otherwise inhuman cyborg through most of the series. And it's the one time we really see love while wearing the mask from Vader.
That's true. That scene, like leading up to that scene, though, is a little awkward. I find it funny when it's like you see Vader behind the Emperor, and the Emperor is like killing his son, and you kind of watch his helmet just kind of like look back, look for it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what decision am I gonna make?
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
like-
funny that he has to like move his whole body to like portray that he is conflicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some good time to think there, buddy.
Yeah, take your time.
Meanwhile, he's just, Father, please. Oh, like he's just getting that deep throaty voice in there. I'm like, oh, he's so close.
Okay,
to,
so-
oh, bats, just going right into the Joker. But
So I know that you were kind of cringy about the whole like no of the last one. How do you feel about the whole father? Empire, please.
I always laugh, even since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's just,
You're the dark one, man. You always make fun of me. Jeez, look at this guy.
I mean, I don't personally like stoic Luke that much either. Like, I don't like it in The Mandalorian or the book of, like when you see Luke in all these other stories, like we know he's going to be in the book of Boba Fett and everything else. It's just assume it's going to be the exact same way. Yeah, it's just rough. It's rough to see Luke in that light because he's got a good personality. We saw it in The Empire Strikes Back. So I don't know. I find his character kind of cringy as like the most in this movie.
Hmm.
Well, I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I just don't love Luke as much as everyone else does. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi
I
is
agree.
my Jedi.
That's fine. That's fine, man.
Agree.
Yeah, just saying. I mean, it's not terrible. He's just not the highlight of the movie for me. Vader
Yeah.
steals
Definitely.
the show.
Definitely.
Yeah, the supporting characters, the Ewoks, are the highlight.
Oh, and that's
The
another thing.
Ewoks.
Special edition saved the end. Imagine being just someone who loves Star Wars, and then the end of Star Wars, yum nub, do not the yum nub. That's so
It's
bad.
so satisfying.
But isn't this also the movie where we get Jedi rocks?
Oh, yeah.
It's special edition.
The background
Yeah.
singers.
Yes. Was that added in?
Yeah.
That's my
And then-
favorite part.
Art.
Yes.
Yeah, check out our Duel of the Ranks cover album.
I love it.
That was pretty good. We should
Yeah.
maybe we'll have a
Karaoke.
side band gig, like a little a cappella group.
Everyone's got their Christmas carols going, and we're just going around the neighborhood.
I love it.
Oh, the new pentatonic strictly for Star Wars covers. Very
Yeah.
few that are out there. But that's another thing. Who liked the Ewoks?
Me?
What?
I know, I'm a girl and I like the Ewoks, but I like that they are cute and vicious. Cute and
Yeah.
powerful. Like they hogtied Chewbacca.
Yeah.
That is not to be underestimated.
They were gonna skin him up, eat him.
Yeah.
They were
Why
gonna-
would you like them? They're terrible creatures.
No, they are. First of all these people came to their planet and
Yeah.
started causing havoc. So they're like, we need to get these invaders out. They were just protecting their land.
We're gonna take 2 logs.
We're gonna eat them.
and we're gonna.
Yeah, they're probably
smash-
like, this will feed our whole tribe for like 3 years.
Yeah.
This
Oh.
one Wookiee.
We're gonna
Oh.
use his fur, make ropes.
Yeah.
Man, you see, Christian's back to being the darkest one of the group.
No.
No.
I'm not, people. You keep listening to our episodes. I'm
There's
not.
oh my gosh, there's an amazing YouTuber out there, just like a lot of animation work, and he's got a scout trooper who's just like seems moderately annoyed by an Ewok. So he's like, get out of here, and he like shoots at like its foot or something, and then it like runs away. And then like progressively you've got this POV from like his lens, and you see like one confront him, another one behind, and then he like turns around and one jumps at him, and it cuts to black, and the next thing you see is just a human on a spick
Yeah.
as they're all like beaten on his like helmet and stuff.
I love it.
Wow. All right.
Vicious.
I was
Yeah.
like, no, that's dark. Like,
That's cool. People didn't like the Ewoks because they were like, oh, it's too cute. And I'm like, I don't mind cute. First of all, why are you complaining that it's cute?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? And also, it's still mean and vicious. So that's the best combo,
They
in my opinion.
Yeah, and like I don't hate the Ewoks. Like I like the funny furry teddy bears. I'm more so like confused by their presence because like this movie starts off pretty like adultish. Like you got the metal bikini Leia. You've got like
Oh, yeah.
this-
You got like slave dancers
Yeah.
in Jabba's
you got
palace.
some risque stuff going on. Like, all right, here's an adult kind of movie, and then you got Ewoks, and you're like, all right,
Who's
is
the
this-
audience?
It's like, is this a kids movie? Are the kids not supposed to look at the metal bikini at the beginning, or like, what's going on? And then And like
Well,
the
that's
Ewoks,
more of an awkward explanation to your kids. Like, well, what? Why is she wearing that?
And
Yeah.
then, and then
Why
that's
is it
for all of
she-
the fathers to go. You'll know when you're older.
Like, well, see, this is how the sex trade works, kid. Like, like
if you ever see a
an awkward
giant
explanation.
worm like that,
Say
you
no.
tell me.
run, yeah, run. I will say though, I think that was the coolest moment for Carrie Fisher in all three of the movies, because I don't think she was supposed to initially be the one to kill Jabba, or if it was like a blaster, and she's like, "No, I want to strangle."
That is, I'm so glad you brought that up. That is one of my favorite parts of this whole movie is Leia getting her kill on, like with her bare hands, like
chain.
vengeance on. Yeah, I love that. Leia deserved more kills.
Christian with the sound effects. Yep. You're gonna be a contractor for just doing sound effects for different people.
Have you seen like the Bill Hader when he was on one of those night shows and he?
That was Conan, I think. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and he's like imitating Jabba the Hutt. He's like, "Pisa cobata opa si." He's like, it's so hilarious.
He also does a tauntaun really well.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
We
know
got
the
some
coolest
good
sound
sounds.
effect is the creature from episode 3 that Obi-Wan
Oh,
rides.
Boga.
Was that?
The lizard, the Boga.
I'm so impressed that you could even make that.
That's
so cool.
That's impressive.
I love it. That's my favorite sound effect.
If you're listening, you can comment what other sounds you would like Brody and Christian to make,
We'll do it.
and we'll do
How
it.
many people have we lost by this point? Like, this thing's gotten weird.
I don't know. I
These
think
guys.
I think that it's going to increase our listenership, if anything.
But Ewoks.
Ewoks.
Is that what we were
Ewoks.
talking about?
We were talking about Ewoks.
They, yeah, so I'm more so like kind of confused by their presence, but I will say that's the reason I don't go to this film a lot or I don't watch it a lot is because I fast forward through a lot of the Ewok parts or like I'm bored with them just because it's slow. And it's like, and another thing is they're, it's funny, like this is their planet, but like, Leia, she helps one of them, like from the log to something else. It's like
There's like struggling to get up his own terrain.
It's like you live here, man. Like, are you not used to this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
It just I
Yeah.
don't know. But like, I like them. Like, I like Ewoks, you know, and I'm just confused by them.
I mean, they're fine. I do.
I mean, they're fine.
I don't hate them. I don't love them. They're there. I mean, I personally dislike them, actually. Like,
Okay, so you just said I don't like them, I don't hate them, but I personally dislike
as
them.
far as the story,
But they're fine.
Oh, okay.
the story, that doesn't bother me from the story. But
Every
like,
opinion.
if I were picking a side, like if I didn't know anything and that's all I saw of Star Wars, I'd be like those poor stormtroopers. Like, those are the good guys, clearly, because they are just like, like,
The heck?
this is unfair.
I'm the evil one.
Listen, and it's so bogus. All these sticks. I mean, I understand stormtrooper armor isn't as good as clone armor, but how cheap was the Emperor when deciding like to cut costs that sticks could go through?
That's how tyrants are, man.
That just proves how strong Ewoks are. They can penetrate sticks through armor. So
How
they're
did they get
small
those
but
two
mighty.
tree trunks to
they had
take down that
arrowheads on the
AT-ST?
ends of those
Yeah.
sticks. It's not just bark they're hitting them with, man.
Mm.
I do like, though, I think one of their greatest wins was when they had the two logs, like sandwich pop that
Yeah.
scout AT.
Yeah, how'd they get those logs up there? It's a load. It's ridiculous.
They climb the
They
trees.
climb, they tie.
With the logs, how'd they pull those up? The whole tribe would have to be like,
They are
got-
a good community that work together.
You got Benny holding Jerry on his shoulders, and he's just
Like a
up there.
12-person tall Ewok.
yeah, pulling those up there. Whatever, man. Well, Luke was in that posse. Maybe he just like put it up there with the
Force it,
Force,
yeah.
and they just tied it. And
No,
waited
Luke
for
was
the right
on Death
moment.
Star too.
Oh yeah, so there's no excuse.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. I don't know
Can we talk about how bad Death Star 2 is?
why. Why is it so bad?
Why is it Death Star 2?
It's
Come up with a different idea.
like you want a different structure.
Yeah.
I get that.
Like, okay, I guess it's fine in theory in this one, but then the fact that it gets like brought back and brought back and brought back, I'm like, yo,
Think of something else. That's no
Anything.
moon.
anything.
I'm afraid it will be the weapon of choice when the audience arrives.
Also, that it's called Death Star too.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was already because of how long it took for them to get the first one. Like, I remember they started it in episode 3. They finished it in episode 4. So it makes me wonder how long it was in the works before it got made.
But, like, where did they get the funding?
Here's a theory. What if they had a bunch of Death Stars planned throughout the galaxy, and they just Luke happened to just blow up one of them, and they stumbled upon the unfinished one?
There you go.
The prototype.
And apparently they're all super easy to destroy. Just go to the center.
Hey, there's a reason for that, all right?
The
Galen
story.
Urso.
Yeah.
Put some respect on Galen Urso.
I guess, but we didn't know that yet. At this point in time, it was just a plot hole.
Sure.
Sure. All right. Well, my favorite movie my favorite part of this movie has nothing to do with the Ewoks. For me, I love the scene where it's Luke and Vader in like a little walkway. They're like on this like terrace platform walking into an AT-AT before they go up to see the Emperor. And Luke's basically saying, "There's still good in you."
Mm-hmm.
I sense it. I know it. And Vader steals the show for me in this movie because you just kind of see him pause and he's like, "No, it's too late for me." And it just feels very real and very human especially for Vader. So, I don't know. I thought that was really cool.
That's a good point. Yeah. You see that he answers it almost like, yeah, I've thought about it.
Like, I want to.
Yeah.
You don't.
I wish I could.
And he basically says, like, talks to him like the Emperor is really powerful. Almost like even if I wanted to, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I am a slave to this guy. And it sets up the finale so well. So, I don't know. That's my favorite moment of this whole thing. Are you really sure Ewoks are yours, though? Like,
my favorite is just the ending in general, like the actual celebration, getting to see the conclusion of the trilogy, all of the characters together celebrating on Endor, Leia with her long hair down and how they learn about their lineage together, Leia and Han, all of that good stuff. So it just, you watch this movie at the end and feel so happy, and that's my favorite part about it.
Nice. What about you, Christian?
I mean, the one that's like stuck in I can't get out of my head right now is when, you know how Han is coming out of like his carbonite freeze hibernation, and Chewie and him are like held captive as prisoners, and he's like hugging him from behind, and Han is like, "I'm all right," and he's like patting him on, and he's just like trying to like kind of wake up from it. I just find that hilarious, and I love that moment when
so cute.
they're doing a hug.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, and I'm surprised none of us brought up that homeboy Hayden Christensen was brought back into this movie.
Oh, yeah, how'd they do that, man?
It's also kind of weird that he was brought back, considering if he was good at the
children.
end. Well, no, but no, if he was good at the end, why wouldn't he look like the older version of himself by that point? And why did he revert back to episode 3 Anakin?
Because he was hot then.
The
hottest version of you transcends the Force.
Hold on.
I guess so.
Is that...
Well, Obi.
But we didn't get hot Obi-Wan. Damn.
So
hey,
hopefully
Alec Guinness.
Yeah, let's hopefully re-edit that one to have.
Oh gosh, no. And then we've lost a whole slew of other subscribers now. All right. Well, do we have anything else to add before we go into the hot takes?
I will say the lowest category that I ranked for this movie was the lore, just because I don't think it's like pushing the lore as much. It's more concerned with like tying all the loopholes and like trying to cap it off. So that was where it was like, that's where I'm not going to rank it so high.
Right. And you also don't want a final film to be introducing a bunch of new characters
Right.
and new things.
Yep. No big questions,
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, for me, the lowest area I gave it was the music.
Ooh.
Unless we're
Wow.
talking
We
about the
should talk about
special
that.
edition where we do have the victory celebration theme played.
I liked the music, though. I didn't give it a perfect score, but I had to give it something because of when Luke and Yoda are talking, like, before Yoda dies. Like, that gets really grim and dark music. Like,
It is good.
darker than, like, it's a different kind of vibe for Star Wars music. And so that's where I was like, oh, I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the darkest theme is for Padme's funeral
Very dark.
to this point.
Very sad.
Actually, no. Darkest is Padme's ruminations, I think.
Yes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Padme's
Oof.
eerie
We'll talk about
ruminations.
that.
Another day.
Yes.
We'll shelf that
Yeah.
One of my
conversation.
favorite all-time Star Wars scenes.
Oof, it's rough. But all right. Well, with that said, it's
Where did
time.
this one rank?
Oh, well, yeah, with that said, it puts us at 79.6.
That's pretty good.
Hey.
Lowest so far.
79?
79.6%.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, if you look at IMDb, they put it in 8.3, so we're kind of hovering around their scores. It's
Yeah.
interesting. They had like 8.3 for A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, but 8.6 for Empire, so not fully sold on IMDb to this point.
And you shouldn't be too.
Yeah.
You should be listening to Duel of the Rings because
Yeah.
we got the answers.
We
Sway.
do.
We
And
sure
we
do.
have an explanation for it. IMDb really won't give you an explanation.
No, it's just
It's subjective.
They're like, here's our number. Just accept it. All right.
Yeah.
yeah, don't accept it.
Just accept it.
Yeah, if you
Or
don't
it's
want
clouded by a bunch of like millions of people who
Ugh.
voted, and then it's like
Millions of people.
millions of people don't have a voice.
you need the 3 people who have the answer.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
The ones wearing Star Wars shirts and tattooing ourselves with
Yes.
Star Wars stuff.
Obviously.
All right.
Avi, like that clearly makes the most sense. All right. Well, with that said, it's time for the hot take segment of the show. Darth Vader, take it away.
Don't be too proud of this podcast you've constructed. The ability to rank content is insignificant next to the power of an exceptional hot take.
It's hot takes time, and Amanda, you got a take that's a little spicy. If I'm looking at it over here.
I sure do. I've been waiting for this one. I could have said it last episode, but I felt like it was the right time to give this hot take now. So I'm just going to say it. My hot take is I think Luke is gay. Now.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Whoa. Came out swinging out the gate.
Yep, here I am. So, as a member of the LGBTQ community, I feel comfortable throwing this take out there because Lucasfilms didn't give us any out queer characters at the time, so that leaves it to the queer audience members to sort of like fill in those blanks and like take those little nods and run with it so we can get that representation that wasn't given to us. So I know that this isn't necessarily a super original take. People have had this, talk throughout the internet for a while. But the first clue that I felt it in was in Empire Strikes Back. Luke and Han are getting ready to leave for battle, and they share this like moment, like, "Are you okay?" Like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good." Like, we're gonna be reunited at the end. And I was like, "Okay, yeah." Like, and then they were like, "Be safe." I was like, "Oh, that's cute." And then obviously there's a little bit of misdirection because Leia kisses Luke several times, but that's exactly that. Leia kisses Luke. Luke doesn't really have any interest in Leia, but Luke does notice that Han and Leia have that tension. And Leia kisses Luke to get that attention from Han. So I felt like there was maybe a little bit of flirtation happening between Luke and Han in Empire Strikes Back. But I officially, after this episode, ship Luke and Wedge together. That is my coupling of choice. Like when at the end, when everyone's celebrating, they embrace and they do this, like they look at each other and they're like really close. And then they're like, "No, it's too soon." and then they have to embrace. But I'm like, you could have just kissed there, and it would have been cute. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think that what's great about it is that it's ambiguous. It doesn't matter what Luke's sexuality is. Mark Hamill has said it himself that he thinks that Luke could be gay, and it doesn't take away from any of the experience or arc that his story goes through. And I think that's also perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, that is a take. So I'm going to downvote it.
Wow.
I'm gonna vote it down.
Homophobia.
Yes.
Here's my thing. I think you could make the same case. I think you make a case that Luke is straight by the fact that the same thing you're saying, by the fact that he was showing some interest in his sister.
Oh, no, he wasn't. His sister was showing interest in him, if anything.
All right. But again, when she did get in the New Hope where he was like, do you think when Han was saying, do you think a girl like her and a guy like me? And Luke's like, no.
Do you think he said that because he was like, I want Han to like me?
So to that point, someone could make an argument that he's straight for that reason. Someone could make an argument that he's bi.
Yeah.
Someone has made the argument that he's gay because we really don't know.
It
really
doesn't
don't.
matter.
You could take it a lot of different directions based on that. I grew up assuming he was single, assuming he had the hots for his unknown at the time sister. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't limit him to just being that. I don't know, but I can't agree with it until the proof is in the pudding for me.
My gator is going off, so that's enough of proof for me.
No, yeah, you raised some good points, and there's a lot of room, I think, for speculation on just the films.
Mm-hmm.
And I see where you're coming from on that. I've personally not thought that way, but I have, like, from A New Hope, when he's, like, stumbling across the hologram, and he's like, who is she? She's beautiful. Like, that was, like, an indicator to me, heterosexual or whatnot. But again, like you were saying, and this is the beauty of it, his sexuality really is not important to Luke's character. And like that's cool because like he can, you know, he's the hero. You know, we're all like trying to like live this thing through Luke too.
Yeah.
But I am going from like the Legends expanded universe realm of like reading all the books and whatnot and his history of like the books he's pretty blatantly heterosexual. Like,
isn't he married?
Yeah, you have Mara Jade, you've got kids.
And I've heard that she's pretty badass, too.
Oh, yeah, very badass. And, like, but even also in the book Splinter of the Mind's Eye by Alan Dean Foster, that was written before Return of the Jedi was even a thing. And that was before Luke and Leia were brother and sister. So this book has a lot of sexual tension between Luke and Leia. And like, what's funny is it's a good book. But
if you gotta, like delete that part out of your brain. But you got to
delete those things. And you got to remember, like, you just have to understand it from the context. Like, again, getting back to the context of things. So I see where you're coming from. I disagree from those reasons, but
I know that there are listeners out there that do agree with me. And
you got to let us know.
But unfortunately, you had two people vote you down. So for the first time in this show's history, you get the downvote soundbite. Darth Vader, let her have it.
I find your lack of good taste disturbing.
Oof.
Yeah, disturbing indeed. All right, Christian, you got any hot takes for this?
Yeah, I got to word this correctly. The movie would have been better with any other creature substituted in for the Ewoks.
That's not...
Any?
No. Just downvote
Milk
immediately.
Toast. Milquetoast.
It could have been a snail.
You know, maybe.
My feathers, it's so inconsequential to me that I'm just going to say Milquetoast.
But think about it. Like, you pick this movie, this location, and you pick a band of some species or race to help you with this fight. And you pick Ewoks.
Teddy bears.
They're baby bears.
You got to pick anything else that would probably have made maybe a little more sense on this planet or have some more utility to like winning the actual
I
battle.
will say, can you imagine the folks from Avatar coming out?
Like
What-
you can
oh.
still capture like a barbaric tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You can capture something that is a little more athletic.
Dude, what if they were a planet of Ents?
Ooh.
There we go. Then Brody would have
I-
been like, "How dare they
How
rip off Lord of the Rings?"
Lord of the Rings did come before that. I don't know, man. I mean, if you would have said they should have been replaced with something cooler, I mean, I'd agree with you, but I'd still say milk toast because
I'm going to say milk toast, too.
I'm gonna say milk toast.
Fine.
A slew of new sound bites being played today.
but
General Grievous, let him have it.
You fool! Your take is milk toast.
That's why I did it, so we could play the new soundbite.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I'm happy. I'm happy you let us do that. Well,
Yeah.
with that said, it's time for the last segment of the show. Force Ghost Charlie, what time is it?
This is the way to trivia time!
It's trivia time, and Christian has the question of the week.
I've got it on my phone. So, at the beginning, when Luke is in the Rancor pit, what does Luke throw at the gate controls to kill the Rancor? Is it A, a rock, B, a skull, C, a femur bone, or D, a thermal detonator?
I'm going to say a rock.
I'm going to say a skull.
It is skull.
What? What?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I legitimately have always thought it was a rock. I was like, oh, I got this.
I went to StarWars.com, and in real time, I completed that quiz. Like, as you said that answer, I just clicked that button.
And
It
I
was right.
Wow. Okay. Christian didn't even know.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you know? All right. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Duel of the Ranks. Be sure to tune in next week as we go over the Phantom Menace. Start going down the road.
Rogue One.
What's that?
Rogue One.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing Rogue One as well. But yeah, I think next week is Phantom Menace.
We'll get to both of them.
At some point. We will be doing Rogue One as well, though. But anyway, so be sure to tune in. Check it out. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. If you want to see our content, we're going to be putting this ranking along with everything else on duelranks.com so you can see that list grow more and more as we put out more content. And yeah, be sure to check out our Twitter. Be sure to see our episodes page, our store. It's all there on dueloftheranks.com. You got your own hot take, submit it there. Otherwise, we will see you next week as we break down the Phantom Menace. See you then.